Welcome everybody to the Interpreters Practice Group and our interview series of Life as an Interpreter. What is life as an interpreter like? As you all know, we started this series a while ago. I'm Sarah Thiemann. I'm the founder of the Interpreters Practice Group, and I empower fellow interpreters to see colleagues as colleagues and not competitors, because this is what we are all about: non-competition, positivity, and mutual support. And we started this series to create awareness for our beautiful profession and spread the love for it. And today I have the fifth interview already. Wow, time really flies by. And I have the amazing Grisel here from Mexico. And yeah, Grisel will tell us about what her life looks like as an interpreter before, after the pandemic, during maybe jet setting, not jet setting, hybrid. We will hear all about it. And of course, also what a typical day looks like or not. Do we have a typical day as freelance interpreters, etc. So Grisel, welcome. So great that you are here. Maybe we can start with, that you tell us a bit about yourself. You work freelance. Do you have any specific type of interpretation that you focus on?
Hi, thank you, Sarah. Yes, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for the invitation. So yes, I am based in Mexico City. I've always been based here. So this has always been the place where I started working. And I've been a conference interpreter for English and Spanish for 9 years now, which is amazing. I didn't
Same
think
time
that it
as
would.
me. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time flies by. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's incredible. And so the type of interpreting that I do mostly, well, the thing is, it varies so much. Sometimes I do a lot of security matters. Some others I do some political things. Some others lately I started doing a lot of network marketing things. So it really varies a lot, but mostly I do simultaneous or conference.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. Networking marketing. That reminds me, don't they also touch the topic of personal development a lot? I kind of
Yes.
touched on that a bit with network marketing. And that's what people I forgot to announce. I mean, stay till the end, because Grisel and I will announce something we are really excited about. So yeah, so just to let you know now.
Yeah.
And network marketing is really sounds interesting. Do you enjoy that, other than interpreting those meetings?
Actually, you know what I do, because I also started at some point training a lot about, well, I got some training about nutrition or supplements and workouts, and like I started like a fitness journey a while ago, and I really realized that I liked it a lot. And it was until I started working with some of these network marketing companies that I realized that that was like the best place for me to, like exploit all of that knowledge, because they talk a lot about that. So they talk a lot about supplements and nutrition and how the body works and workouts. And, so I like it because of that. And it's always new, sometimes you really learn a lot. But also, as you said, they do have like a very strong, also most companies, I believe, have that personal development perspective as well, when they're talking about, how to make your dreams come true, or, how to tackle some negative self-talk, or, they sort of also include that in most of their trainings. So yeah, I actually enjoy it very much.
Yeah, super exciting. As you guys know, I love this topic. So yeah, and it's very important to stay energetic and prevent burnout and so on.
Yes.
So but today we are here to learn about life as an interpreter. Can you share with us what a typical day looks like, if there is any, or you can pick a day that, maybe a preparation day or an actual interpreting day, you can choose.
Sure. Yeah, so I kind of have different routines that I've established for myself. So I have a routine for whenever I'm working only for our RSI assignments from home. And then I have another one, which is whenever I actually have to go to a specific venue and it's an in-person event. But I also have developed another routine, which is for whenever I travel. But most of them, the three of them, what they have in common is that I get up early in the morning if I can, and it's not super early. I get up at around 5, workout. Then, I like to take my time, sit down, enjoy my breakfast, drink my coffee,
That's amazing. Morning
calmly,
routine.
not in a
Yes.
rush. Yeah. Actually enjoying, everything. And then I hurry up, like I get, I go to the shower, I get dressed and everything. And, ideally for whenever this is happening, I already created a glossary. I already study it for that assignment. If, of course, we have the materials beforehand, which is, fortunately,
Yeah,
so
story of
that
our
kind of
life.
has improved. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it's not as much as we would want it, but yeah. And then I go ahead and like if I'm traveling, then I would be ready at the lobby of the hotels, to ready for somebody to go pick us up. Or if I am here, then I really like plan everything so that I can be here at the studio also calmly and, set everything up. Or if I have to go to a venue, I actually schedule the Uber beforehand so that the guy picks me up whenever, I needed to beat traffic in Mexico City, which is crazy traffic. But
Oh
yeah, and
yeah, yeah.
so that's usually, how it works. But my morning routine is kind of like, it varies and it changes, but ideally that's the way it looks.
Yeah, on that note, 5 a.m. Boy, all my respect. I have tried. I had my face, and I succeeded getting up at 5:30 for like a long time, I think. But it was really like, I don't know. I still need 7 to 8 hours sleep. So I would need to get to bed very early. Do
Yeah,
you manage that, or how do you do
I
that? Or
try.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or don't you need that much
I
sleep? Or
No, you know what? I really need to sleep a proper amount of hours, because if I don't get enough sleep, I just don't feel good the next day, especially interpreting. I mean, I get the job done, I can still function, maybe if it's just one day, but if I have an entire week of assignments, there is no way that I can function if I didn't sleep at least 6 hours, per night. And I really strive and aim, to go to bed early enough so that if I have to get up at 5 a.m., I actually get, a decent amount of sleep. So yeah, that's kind of my challenge, because all of my life I've been the type that goes to bed very late. But, the time has
oh.
come when I'm like, I really need to treasure my sleep. So
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, it's really important. And then also coming back to the personal development area, and if you hear now, success habits and so on, getting up very early, but it's really like your sleep is still more valuable. So you really need, like the average person, I just read that the other day again, needs 7 to 8 hours, and value that. And if you're the type of person, anybody watching, by the way, you can comment. I just look on my phone when you want to comment and ask a question. I look at it and ask Grisel your question. But yeah,
Yeah.
so really don't force yourself, because there are also like night people,
Yeah.
night owls, and this is fine too. It depends all on your rhythm, what type of person and biologically you are. So 7 to 8 hours average. Some people are okay with 6 hours only, even in a long stretch, but find out what type of person you are and follow along. And then it's if you get up at 8, it's fine. Who cares? So it's,
Yeah.
if it works for you, if you still get everything done, because I mean, now you just said it. If you don't get enough sleep, you're not productive, or you cannot concentrate enough. And imagine that doing that over a long stretch of time. So this is what I want to encourage you: value your sleep, and then get up at the time that
Definitely.
suits you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I didn't used to be like a morning person until the pandemic. Actually, that changed with the pandemic, and now it works better for me. But yes, I mean, some days if I'm too tired, I just don't get up as early, and I just don't work out early in the morning. And if I can, and if I feel like it, and my body is okay with it, maybe I work out later in the day. If not, I listen to my body, because it's like you can only do so much. So yeah.
Yeah. That sounds really healthy and really good. Yeah. Yeah, and this helps you always interpreting as well, to stay concentrated during the assignment, to feel serene maybe beforehand or as much as possible. And yeah, coming back to that, what would you say is the one thing you love most about interpreting?
I love that I can have access to so many different types of knowledge about many different types of topics. I think that this is the type of profession that allows for people to be in so many different contexts and learning so much about everything really. And it's like that sometimes, you know, we get access to places that most people don't, or we listen, you know, or hear about certain things, or the an explanation about how something works that a lot of people don't know either. So
Yes,
I
yes.
think that I'm very, like, curiosity, I think, is one of the things that I have a lot of. And I really like that aspect of being able to learn. And also I like that it's always different. It's, even if you did the same conference about the same topic, because they have it every year is still different. So I really
Yes.
like that it's not monotonous, is, you know, every day is a surprise. So yeah, I really like that. I enjoy that a lot.
Oh, great. Yeah, it's really, I think this is something that most of us interpreters have in common, that this curiosity, this hunger for knowledge, because yeah, we learn about new topics so often, and yeah, lifelong learning. Yeah. And we have a
Mhm.
hello from Michael Mietke from the
Oh,
Netherlands, Maastricht.
hi.
Hi, Michael. And Nariaman is watching too. So
Nice.
great. Awesome. Awesome that you guys are watching. If you have any questions, post them. I try to regularly look into the comments and then ask them here. All right. And I think I know that you studied interpreting, right? So you have a formal training, a master's degree, I think. And would you say today, I mean, maybe it's a silly question, but does it help what you learned in your studies?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
No, yes. I mean, I know that there are a lot of interpreters that maybe they have been an interpreter for very long, but you know, they kind of like had just that experience on the go, and they maybe didn't have the academic formation. And some of them are really good, but in my very personal case, I do think that it was super useful. And generally speaking, I think that it's so different. You know, some people can be really good interpreters, but they maybe lack like some technical aspects, or knowing how to handle certain contexts or whatever, you know. So I think that, yeah, that part of actually going to get your degree, I believe, is crucial. And I think I mean, it never hurts. Like you really can learn so much more. And I don't know, it's just, you have a lot more even confidence in yourself. Like that was, in my case, I struggled a lot with that, because as many interpreters, probably I tend to be perfectionist. So one of my teachers kept telling me, like, Grisel, you're doing good, you know, you're doing great. And I was like, no, I'm not.
What? You
So
contradicted your teacher, your lecturer.
yeah, you have no idea how
Hmm.
grateful I am to her, because she kind of taught me how even to handle those things. That, yes, you know, they teach you about decollage, they teach you about shadowing, they teach you about all the technical aspects of doing simultaneous or note taking, and all of that is great. But I also got the chance to be with teachers that, you know, kind of like also worked on that mindset aspect of things. And it really helped me after all, because when I came out to like the working world, I was like, she was right. You know, I was being way too harsh with myself.
Yeah, were you also
So
surprised? Did you also think that the working world would become more difficult than the student work, studying kind of
yeah,
work? Yeah, me too. I thought like, oh my gosh, I have to work hard now because it will become even harder later on.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's
I
actually
was
not the case.
I was just losing my mind, because I was like a month away from graduating, and I saw my grades, and you know, I was like, no, how can it be possible that I have those grades? I'm going to go to the world in a month, you know. So it was, but actually, I guess that's what some schools do. They train you in such a way that whenever you actually go out to the world, it's actually not as hard,
Yeah.
because it has already been hard throughout the
Yes. Yeah.
entire degree.
Yeah, so everybody out there, be grateful if your studying is hard and difficult, because
Yeah.
you know you want to have it hard at the beginning and difficult, because then it will, what the result just what you just said, it will be then easier afterwards because you have
Yeah.
been in the more difficult situations. That's why I think also in extreme sports or military, they always train to the extreme, so that when the actual life thing or the thing happens that counts, that this will
Mhm.
be then be easier. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And why did you become an interpreter? What motivated you?
You know, it was kind of funny because I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was just kind of lost. But somehow I could always tell, and everybody could tell that like I had a talent for languages, and that happened since I was little. And when the time came for me to choose what to study, I took a little too long to decide. And whenever I saw other options and I wanted to maybe go and see if I could study those other options, it like the doors were already closed, the timeline had passed, and I met an interpreter that was the mother of a friend of my brother, and she actually studied at the same school that I ended up studying at. And I talked to her because it was part of a homework that I had. You had to interview somebody that had studied something and did something for a living that you found interesting. And so I talked to her and she explained to me how it was. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I could do that, you know, but that was it. And then when I realized that my options were really like no longer plentiful, you know, I just thought, what am I going to do with my life? I thought, well, I might as well give it a try and see, you know, how it goes. So I went to the school. And actually, luckily, they had a different program because it wasn't semester. It was like in periods of 4 months. So I was still on time to apply to get accepted to that school. And it was just because of that I was kind of still on time, and everything just kind of worked since the beginning because I took the exam and I didn't need to do anything else. Some people, the school back then required a specific level of English, and some people took the exam, but then they had to go and train themselves a little bit more so that they could get to that level. In my case, it was just like, well, you passed, welcome, you know. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow,
So
that's great. Yeah.
it just kind of everything flowed perfectly, honestly. And then I started, you know, I thought, okay, I'm going to give this a try, but I wasn't entirely sure if I could actually do this for a living, or if maybe later I would become kind of bored or something. I don't know. I just didn't really understand what being an interpreter implied.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, maybe this is not that hard and maybe this could bore me. So I'm going to finish the degree, but I don't know if I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, after the first 4 months period, I was like, okay, no, this is tough. This is
This is not
actually
easy.
tough. Yeah.
So great. So, but this challenge then kept you motivated and excited.
Yeah.
And it
Oh, yeah.
seems like it really
Definitely.
became your one and true passion, huh?
It did.
I mean,
And actually, honestly, I think that it became my passion because it was so hard, you know, when I didn't expect it to be that hard, because everybody always told me like, oh, you're so good with languages. And oh, I thought to myself, of course I could do it. You know, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe a little proud at the beginning. And then I was like, no, man, this is hard. I really have to make an effort if I want to do this, you know? So it challenged me. And of course, I ended up loving it deeply.
Yeah, even better. I mean, otherwise you would have left, and you're amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so cool. And I've also heard again the other day from like a motivational speaker that sometimes, you know, a bit of luck belongs to it to find your true passion, or to be pushed in the right direction, to be in the right place at the right time. And it seems you have been with that that acquaintance of yours told you about it.
Definitely, because otherwise I would have ended up being a lawyer maybe, or a psychologist or something different that, you know, had nothing to do with interpreting.
Awesome. I see we have a question from the audience. Michael asks, Grisel, can you tell something about your own RSI studio? We see the soundproof background. Yeah, and hello Vera as well, and all the others. Hello. So, you're a nice background. Yeah.
Well, this studio actually, sadly, it wasn't my idea. I cannot take credit for it because I didn't build it per se. I have a brother, an older brother, and he was the one that at some point decided that he wanted to be a musician. And so he is the one that actually designed the space so that he could come practice. And well, we never took it down. So with the pandemic, it just came in very handy. But yeah, he was in charge of like all the background you see. That was him, and my dad helped him. And all I did was really to buy, like the computers, the lights, the like everything else, like the microphones, the headphones that were specifically for interpreting, rearranging the place, because this before was like full of, things that we didn't use anymore. And so I had to kind of clean everything and like redesign the thing, but it wasn't really like I started it from scratch. He did. So
again, kind of lucky in the right time,
yeah.
right place. And, interpreting is just meant for you.
It just is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So great. Yeah.
It's funny because, many times I told my mom, like, why do you keep that on the walls? We don't even use that. We don't need that. And then COVID happened and I was like, well, now I know why.
See, exactly. It's like, wow, it's so many, I don't know, coincidences, or I don't know. It's so great. And it really looks super professional. And I know, do you have many assignments where you have your camera on? Or
I do. Well, it really depends on the client, because some people, whenever you join the Zoom, they don't allow other people to turn their camera on. But when they do, I do like to turn my camera on, at least just to say hi. Especially if it's somebody that I know already. And sometimes, we have like a good relationship, and I like to kind of giving my face to the client and for them to know that, hey, this is me. And yeah, but most of the times when I'm interpreting, they don't ask me to keep my camera on. Although once it did happen, I don't really know why. Even today, I was interpreting and then they sent me a direct message asking me to turn my camera on. So I was like, okay. So I did. So
yeah, be prepared for a camera view.
Yeah. I was ready for that.
Yeah, very good, very professional, super. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, cool. No, sounds really great. Super exciting and great stuff. Let me just check.
Sure.
Yeah, and Michael says, I would like to have a brother doing this for me. Yeah.
I know. Yes,
Totally,
it was such a blessing, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, really great. Yeah, and looking at the time, I would suggest, because I also know you have an assignment afterwards, to come to our great announcement.
Yay.
So thank you first of all for the interview, of course, and
thank you.
maybe yeah. So how shall we do this, Grisel? We want to tell our community something to become really excited about. So what is it, Grisel?
Well, we came up with an idea that might interest you. So I believe that Sarah later on is going to be posting a survey. So if you could take the time to take a look at it and to answer it, that is going to be very helpful, because we believe that actually these topics about personal development could be very useful, because as I told, my story of being an interpreter and becoming an interpreter had a lot to do with that change of mindset and, like really knowing how to deal with different challenging situations that we all really experience and face every day. So yeah, we were thinking, we both really like personal development a lot, and we're thinking that it could also be something that might interest you. So yeah, if you could take a minute or two just to answer those questions, that would really be very helpful.
Exactly, because we want to become a little bit more active again in the IPG. So watch out for your emails again. Join Lavinia and Antonio on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. CET for the interpreting practice. And Grisel and I will want to provide you with more personal development topics. You know already that I'm a self-help junkie. I incorporated it already in the digital marketing topics back in the days. Then I had my hair loss or burnout, whatever you want to call it. So I took a step back, but now you can see I have hair again. So my energy is back and I want to become more active again, because I love you guys. I love our community of positivity, non-competition and mutual support. And personal development is really something that I'm super passionate about. And with Grisel, I found somebody to do it with. This is so great. And again, prevention of burnout, guys. It's so good to find people to do it, to do things with. And it's much more motivating as well, and so much more fun. And like Grisel said, it's all about mindset. So we thought about personal development for interpreters. I will send out an email and post it into the group. And by personal development, we mean like self-improvement, working on our mindset, on our thoughts, programmed conditions. Maybe you're not so familiar with it yet. Maybe you are already very familiar with it for all levels. You know, it's super interesting. That's why we will share the survey to ask you where you are at, what you want to hear about. You know, topics can be like, just to give you an idea what we mean by this term, personal development. We already had a few topics like, what about toxic colleagues, how to deal with them? Are you afraid of a new booth partner? You have an assignment coming up and there's a new booth partner and you're afraid that they will judge you. So you don't even think about the topic of the assignment, but more about the colleague, you know? So to change your thoughts, to become more serene, those kind of topics, you know? So it would be really great if you could yes, take part in the survey. And if it turns out that nobody's interested in it, hey, fine too. You know, it's a learning for us. This is why we want to do the survey, to not just do meetings that nobody's interested in. So take part in the survey, help shape the IPG. This is your opportunity to shape the topics we will discuss. Looking forward to it. And I guess with that, we can close slowly. What do you think, Grisel?
Sure. Yeah. Yes, of course. Thank you so much, Sarah, for, taking the time of this interview, of having this interview. I am always happy to be here. And yeah, we'll be paying attention to whatever people are interested in, and we'll see you around.
Sounds great. And with that, everybody, watch out for the email later today. Bye-bye.